Let's talk about Shatter Dive. On January 19th, Bungie put out update 3.0.2, which, among other things, was supposed to nerf the power of both Shatter Dive and Whisper of Fissures, the fragment that beefed up the damage of the new Hunter Wombo combo. My initial plan was to test out the changes to Shatter Dive on Tuesday, but then that got thrown out of whack when we also got Hawkmoon random rolls thrown into the mix. So I did the Hawkmoon mission, got a few rolls, worked on a few videos, and now here I am finally to tinker with Shatter Dive. But imagine my surprise when I saw this. That's me one-hit nuking my friend in a private match out of their roaming super with Shatter Dive. If you're confused, I'll break it down for you. Bungie's patch notes mentioned that Whisper of Fissures was supposed to have its damage toned down as follows. When dunking on a player in their super, the damage numbers were to be taken down from 42 to 22 to 16 to 2. I'm assuming what they mean there is the damage per crystal being broken on Shatter Dive. When you throw a Glacier Nade, there's 5 crystals, so if I were to dunk into a full Glacier, by these numbers, the absolute max damage I'd be able to do to a roaming super, in theory, would be 80 damage. 16 damage max per each crystal on the field, 5 crystals total, 80 damage. Maybe a tad more with the damage of Shatter Dive itself kicking in, but from the images I've looked at, Shatter Dive damage itself seems minimal. So let's put everything together and say around 90 damage max to a roaming super, give or take a few damage. But if we take a look here from ye old private match, doesn't exactly look that way. I spent a lot of time on testing different ranges while dunking, i.e. dunking on folks from up close, dunking on people from far away. I'm telling you that because I don't want people to be misinformed. Not every test I did was on a frozen super being totally encased perfectly in a glacier grenade touching them before I dunked. Look right here, I throw a nade from this far away from my buddy in a roaming super, crash down into it, and bam, dead roaming super. That is way more than 80 to 90 damage. Now the patch notes could mean, when they talk about damage, that this is the extra damage number here provided by Whisper of Fissures thrown on top of the regular damage done to a Glacier Nade when you crash into it. If that were the case, I think that Bungie should still tell us the default damage numbers per crystal so we can fully figure out on paper the max damage we can do with Shatter Dive. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling here. The point of the story is, I think something went wrong, and here is my proof. Out of all the roaming supers we tested on, do you know the one that absolutely laughed off the Shatter Dive Wombo combo damage? You'll never guess which one it is. Behemoth Titan in Glacial Quake. Trying to Wombo combo the Glacial Quake Titan with Whisper of Fissures turned on resulted in laughably low damage. I'm talking single digit per glacier level damage with Whisper of Fissures turned on. Now if we go back to the patch notes, those are the friggin' numbers we're supposed to be seeing across the board, but they only appear when trying to dunk on a Behemoth Titan. Thinking there might be a thing going on where maybe a Stasis class gets extra protection against Shatter Dive? I thought so too, but nah, because we tried it on a Winter's Wrath Warlock and that sucker got absolutely demolished. Even the beefiest of roaming supers got clowned by a Fissures dunk, with the exception being a Night Stalker Hunter roaming super. It barely lived through the one-hit kill, probably mainly due to the inherently high damage resist it has. Before you say it, I know that the Behemoth also has very high damage resist, but single-digit damage? Something's not right here. Here's what I think happened. The patch to nerf Shatter Dive and Whisper of Fissures somehow got borked, and the only super that is taking the proper 3.0.2 patch level of minimal damage from Shatter Dive is Glacial Quake. In theory, at least based on these friggin' numbers. No other super should be getting insta-nuked by a Whisper Shatter Dive, and yet they clearly are, even when they're not being directly frozen or touched by the crystals. Obviously, it should come as no surprise that if roaming supers not named Glacial Quake are getting one hit by the Wombo combo, regular Guardians still are too. So, unless Bungie comes out and tells everybody, nah, this is working as intended, which would blow my freaking mind, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that something went wrong with the Shatter Dive tuning and it ain't fixed yet. Here's hoping that gets taken care of soon. Please click the like button and sub if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.